Hi everybody, it's Kelly from Earth Angel Talk. I drew a card today, moon cycles. So I did a little research into the cycles of the moon, and forgive me, I'm going to have to read some notes. There's a lot of information. But the card says, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations and capitalize upon these cycles. Sorry, my dog ran off. Venica. I noticed that around the full moon, people get crazy. Like, people are driving crazy. Cohorts at school are having a rough time. Everyone is struggling. They're full of anxiety, all sorts of things. So I wanted to give a little insight into this subject. So the full moon's a perfect time to release anything you're done with. And we just had a full moon, by the way. And it's waning now. The new moon's the time to focus on manifesting desires and intentions, and the evening before the full moon is an optimal time for healing and for recharging healing instruments such as crystals and oils. Spend time looking at the moon and notice how you feel in relationship to its cycles. As you discover the moon's connection with your vitality and moods, you'll be more in touch with this divine magic. And the angel connected to the moon is Haniel. Her aura is bluish white, just like the moon's glow, and the crystal, of course, is moonstone. It's magical and nurturing, and you can wear it to hold a moonstone when you want to feel close to Haniel, and she'll care for you with her nurturing mother energy and effect miracles with her love for you. So let's talk a little bit about the moon. So the moon affects the tides, like the oceans, the water, lakes, rivers, all of it. So if it affects water, and we're 75% water, then it affects us. It also affects the flow of female cycle, and it affects our mental state because, well, our brain also is very fluid. So our brains are a very moist organ, and that's why it's affected just like a tide. And that's why you'll see like lunatics, they say, are on the full moon, or werewolves. It's because that's when it can affect our mental state most severely, or strongly, if you wish. So when we're not in our right mind, when we have an imbalance, the moon will intensify the aspect of that, especially the full moon. That is why the word lunatic is used for someone who appears to have gone mad during a full moon. It literally translates to moonsick if you use the Latin tense. A lot of hospitals, police stations, mental institutions report increased activity during this phase of the moon. So the moon has 8 phases, and they're all connected to a spiritual meaning, and they carry their own unique energy. Some of the aspects can be proven by science, and some must be backed by faith. So, not everything on this earth can be seen with our eyes or felt with our touch. Some have to be experienced with our heart and our other senses. So I'll explain the new moon. The new moon is where the sun and moon are on the same side of the earth. The moon appears to have turned its back on us. It's called the dark side of the moon. And I don't know if any of you are aware, but Pink Floyd has an album called The Dark Side of the Moon with a cool rainbow triangle. It's just an interesting fact that they called it that, I thought. Spiritually, this phase represents a woman's menstrual cycle. Historically, this was a time when women withdrew and took time away from others so they could retreat and refresh. And a lot of times women are considered dirty at this stage, and in many tribes in Africa they have to go and stay in a special hut. And the women loved this because they could go have all their women time, because as you know, a lot of women are in sync, in tune with their menstrual cycles. So this is a phase of new beginnings. It's something is ending, shedding what is no longer necessary, and beginning again. And it's a good time to cleanse and purge and get rid of the things that are no longer serving you, or no longer needed, or are holding you back or down. You can get your fresh start. Then comes the waxing moon. The sun begins moving closer to the moon, so it's once more illuminated. A crescent appears as it waxes, and the crescent grows into a first quarter moon. Spiritually, the waxing moon represents intention, hopes, and wishes. After recharging under the new moon, our intentions and desires are ready to be planted. So it's time to plant those seeds, water them with hope, and have faith that they will grow. And don't go yelling at them the very next day and expect to see fruition, because it takes time for things to push up through the surface. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little sweaty. It's warm out today. It's beautiful. So, just as crops are planted during this phase, if you read the Farmer's Almanac, you'll see that crops are to be planted now. You can develop your intentions, bury crystals in the earth at this time, and pay into your universal bank account. Plan for future projects, and then we come to the first quarter moon. That happens 1 week following the new moon. It is a quarter through its monthly cycle. Spiritually, we may feel resistance during this time. Now, I've noticed in myself when it's the quarter moon, the first and last quarter moon, like 2 weeks into the cycle and 2 weeks before it ends, I have 2 or 3 days of very cranky moods, and the same happens 2 days before and 2 days after a full moon. So just watch your moods, because they're very much affected by the moon. So when the quarter moon comes, we feel resistance. Obstacles may occur. If you planted intentions last week, they may have resistance here, just as a small plant does as it pushes through the soil. This is a time for challenges, decisions, and action. Rest and intention setting are crucial, and they're now replaced by work. So you set your intentions, and now you have to work harder than ever to make them come to fruition. So before making decisions on the spot, keep calm when obstacles appear out of nowhere. Be flexible. Keep repeating your intention like a mantra, and your intentions will manifest. That's why I said it's crucial with your intentions. Know what they are. They've already been planted, but keep the same intention and work hard at manifesting it. And keep a to-do list. A journal, you can write and act on your intentions and cross things off your list when you've completed them, so you know what you have and have not done. Then you will come to the waxing gibbous. It's 1 phase away from becoming a full moon. The themes for this part of the moon are adjustment, refining, and editing things that don't always go according to plan. So this is a time for change, a time for adjustment. This phase assists you in reevaluating your plans. You can adjust them, give them up, or change your direction during this phase. Sometimes a sacrifice is made here to prepare for the gifts the full moon brings. So, in universal law, you have to create a void to be filled. So if you have all this old stuff filling you up, you need to get rid of it and create that void so the new gifts can come in and fill that void. So sometimes you have to make a sacrifice. If you feel an urge to change during this time, let go of resistance and change. Go with the flow of change. Then you come to the full moon. The full moon, the sun and the moon are on opposite sides of the earth. The sun is it's directly across from the moon, and it's reflected fully, completely illuminating the moon. They're also in opposite zodiac signs, bringing tension as we try to find balance between 2 extremes. Balance is normally affected physically, mentally, and emotionally at this time. Emotions can be intense during this period. Detach from anything which is creating your emotions to flare. So step back from drama at this time. The September full moon is the harvest moon. Crops are normally harvested at this time. So that was obviously I was reading about September, but we're coming into October. So on the full moon, you're reaping the benefit of the seeds that were planted during the new moon. And you can reap the benefit of your intentions that you planted in the new moon. So there's all these phases, and they present opportunities for results from hard work, intention, and things that you do in the phase before. Be open to receiving these benefits. So the waning gibbous, the moon is becoming less illuminated, moving towards the last quarter phase before the next new moon. Spiritually, the themes are gratitude, sharing, and enthusiasm. It seems like I had this out of order possibly, and I'm sorry if that is the case. You should feel the benefits of the previous 2 weeks' work. Crops are in abundance, physically and metaphorically. Yes, the full moon's when we're going to harvest the crops, so we're taking a step back here. That's why this is live, raw, and unedited. So physically and metaphorically, it's physically for farmers, crops are in abundance, metaphorically for the rest of us. And they've come to fruition from our intentions and our hard work. Goals and intentions are coming to fruition, sometimes in small ways. Feeling full of love. The reason so many weddings occur in September is because of the abundance of food. The harvest is here, the work is done, and love is in the air. This is the time to give back to those around you. You may have the urge to spend. Try to refrain from a spending frenzy. Yet don't feel bad about spending a little extra time or money on those you love. Giving back is a big theme at this time. The first quarter moon is the reverse process of the last quarter moon is the reverse process of the first quarter moon. The moon is waning, becoming smaller in its light. Spiritually, the themes are release, letting go, and forgiveness. Be ready to let go of stuff you have endured, hurt, brokenness, and may have been angered in many ways under the phase. You can let go of grudges and release anger, getting rid of that which no longer serves you or the higher good. Pause and create room so you are ready to receive new intentions to be set for the coming new moon. Cleanse your home, your closet. I just realized I did not go out of order because we have the full moon and then the waning moon before the new moon. Silly me. So you set your new intentions, cleanse your home, your closet, your friendships, anything that's no longer serving you must go. This includes unnecessary emotional clutter as well as the physical, which is accumulated during the past month. Physical activity and classes help. So the waning crescent, it's a factor of the moon, a fraction of the moon's illuminated. And it's decreasing into the newer dark moon. They call the new moon the dark moon because it's completely dark. It's spiritually to surrender, rest, recuperate, because these are necessary to live life. A cycle's ending, and there have been endings and beginnings all through this cycle. Things have come and gone, whether willingly or not. Prepare now for a new cycle. Prepare to reset your intentions, yet not during this moon. Just relax and surrender to this moon, to the universe. Sometimes things are beyond our control, and we must allow fate to take its course. Instead of blaming the universe for your problems, learn how to harness its ebbs and flows for your own good, which will ripple out to others as well. When we understand how things work, we can work with them. So, do a little moon's play. As always, it's been wonderful talking with you. Stay blessed.